Today's Wednesday and it's the 18th of September, it's 2024, and I've received an email or a message from Barbara, and she was watching the videos and she says, I often notice that the star ratings as you pass through hotels, sorry for the traffic that's going up and down the road, over here if a star is rated 5 it usually means it's high-end luxury, whereas on the continent many mediocre hotels are given 5 stars. Because they have a swimming pool or maybe they have an evening entertainment. And she was wondering if that's the same case in Mallorca, and well, that got me thinking, how does this star system work? I suppose naively I might have thought it's a universal thing, it's something that is the same throughout the world. Well, that's just not the case. Or what about the European Union? Maybe the European Union's got a system. And so I went onto the internet to find out what the European Union said about stars. And yes, indeed, there is a hotelstar.eu website. And this website does actually give the criteria for 2025 for the hotel stars. But when you look down, there's a list of countries. And if you look closely at that list of countries, well, Spain's not one of them. In fact, France is not one of them, Italy's not one of them. There's quite a lot of countries that are not included in that list, and so they don't actually follow the list of rules for the European Union. Some of them said they're going to implement them, some of them are looking carefully, and some are just observers. Spain, well, Spain doesn't actually figure on the list at all. So let's have a look a little bit deeper and find out about Spain. So I went onto the internet again and did another search and came across a fantastic site. Told me all about all the stars on hotels in the Benidorm area. And I thought, great, I've solved the problem. It told me exactly what a 5-star hotel should be like, a 4-star, 3-star, 2-star. It told me about hostels and pensions. It told me about hostels with an E, which are different. But then I discovered that it's only for that particular region, and Spain is divided into lots of different regions and they all have their own rules and they're not necessarily the same. So that brings me to the Baleares, and the Baleares, where Majorca is, has its own set of rules. And back in 2015 they decided that they were going to assign a point system to the hotels, and this point system, depending on how many points the hotel received, would decide on whether it was going to be a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star or 5-star. It's not actually quite that simple, because some of the hotels might be a 3-star but they've got a lot of points, so they're called superior, or you might have a 4-star superior. But what are these points? And these points are not all the same anyway, because agro-tourism hotels and hotels on the inland that are inland have a different system or a different number of points that's required for the stars. So let me just explain the star system to you. So here in the Baleares we have a point system, and it's a self-assessment point system. So the hotel itself has a form, and I can just imagine a person walking around with a clipboard ticking things off as they go around the hotel. And there's certain things they have to have. Number 1 on the list is they've got to be clean and tidy, and they've got to be hygienic. So I guess that's pretty good, and that's true for all hotels. Doesn't matter how many stars they've got. They've all got to have equipment that works. So if it's got a door, it's got to work as a door. If the bed's there, it's got to work as a bed. Everything's got to work in the hotel, and if it's not, it's got to be fixed quickly. So all of these things, some of them are mandatory, and then some of these are not so mandatory. So depending on what it is, they might get some points for it. So let me just give you some examples. If it's got easy access to the beach, you get some stars, 4 stars. If it's got a panoramic view, another 4 stars. So if it's got a particular cultural interest, if the building's got some cultural interest, you can gain 30 points for that. And so the list goes on. Now, some things are required if you want to be a 3-star, which are not required if it's a 2-star or 1-star. And 5-star hotels have to have certain things. For example, it has to have an independent bar. So, and it can have more than one independent bar, so a 5-star hotel could have several bars, and they get points for each one, so up to a maximum of 19 points. I don't know how they work that one out, but anyway. So there's a whole list, and the pages and pages. I've got the list in front of me, so forgive me if I keep looking down. They'll get extra points if they've got good access for disabled. They'll get extra points if they've got the swimming pool. They get extra points for this and that, and so all of these things add up, and then you get at the end, they will add up all of the points and decide how many points they've got, and that will decide upon the number of stars. So how many stars does each rating need? Well, just to be a hotel they need to gain at least 120 points, and that would give you a 1-star. I'm not sure that here in Mallorca we've got any 1-star hotels. To be a 2-star hotel they need to get 200 points, and for 3 stars they need to get 300 points. But if they get more than 300 points, getting up to 450 points, they can become a superior hotel in the 3-star category. Once they get to 500 points it becomes a 4-star, and if they've got 650 points it's a superior 4-star. 5 stars starts at 700 points, and then 5-star luxury is 950 points. For hotels that are not near the coast, it's the inland hotels, the rural hotels, the agro-tourism hotels, they have a slightly lower requirement to get to some of the different ratings. So what does all of this actually mean? Does it mean because it's got so many stars that it's a good hotel? Well, I guess it doesn't actually. It just really means that it has those facilities and someone's been around and ticked it off in a box. And the next question I suppose is, if we are trusting self-assessment, how accurate is it? Well, we do have hotel inspectors, and the hotel inspectors will go round and they will be looking, and they will have the same clipboard, and they'll say, ah yes, you said you've got a swimming pool. Yes, you've got a swimming pool. Oh, you've got 2 swimming pools, and you've got an indoor swimming pool. So they'll be ticking them off on their clipboard to make sure that the hotel has got exactly what it says, and therefore has the correct rating. So, well, I hope this helps clear up what hotel ratings mean and how they actually work here in the Baleares, which might not be the same if you go to somewhere on the mainland, and it might mean something completely different if you go to Malaga, for example, or you go to somewhere in a different part of Spain. And it'll certainly mean something different if you go to a different part of Europe who work on a completely different system. And that again is different if you're in the UK. So what do these hotel star mean? It just really means here in Majorca that they have certain facilities, and that those facilities exist. It doesn't say how good they are or how accurate they are or how well they function. It's just that they do function and that they do exist. So I hope this clears things up a little bit. And how do you find out then if the hotel's going to be a good hotel? Well, maybe you go onto TripAdvisor, or you go onto Google and you look for reviews for that hotel and see what other people say. And that's not always reliable either, because one thing I've noticed when I'm looking at reviews is that people are more prone to react if they dislike something and they want to say or make a complaint, rather than if they want to praise something. You do get some people who would like to praise the staff in particular. They say they've got fantastic staff, but I think people are more likely to criticise an establishment rather than to praise it. So whenever you're taking those reviews, I think you should take them with a little pinch of salt. One thought did come to me, as if you're actually in an area and you see a hotel that you might fancy for next year, why not just pop in, have a look around, ask some of the guests what they think. What was the dinner like? What was the breakfast like? What are the rooms like? Is the entertainment much good? And I'm sure people will quite happily tell you what the things are like there. I don't know. I don't stay in many of the hotels here, and the ones who do stay we've been really happy with, however many stars they've had. Anyway, I hope this video's helped a little bit clear up how the star system works, and thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.